Senki Ehrgeiz is a late 90s mecha show. The story is 101 Gundam. Humans have colonized space, which are called Next in here. The Next have turned against the Earth and a war breaks out. We don't see any of this, by the way, we are just told this. It's like we are joining the story after the big war has happened and now there's some kind of stalemate. The story really focuses on every faction in the series trying to get their hands on some kind of secret super weapon called SAC, or S for short. The main group we follow are a bunch of outlaws living on an abandoned colony, which is made up of every archetype anime mech pilot you can think of. The drunk guy, the mechanic, the cool guy, the over-top zealous getter robot style guy, the hero, and of course a bunch of kids that just know how to operate a giant robot. This crew don't give a what's it about anything. If you've got stuff worthwhile stealing, then they will do just that. If your ship looks like some scrap, then they won't even bother, which cracked me up. I like how there just seem to be a random set of people stuck in the same place, so just formed a crew. It's not even like the show has a true lead character. You might think it's Jay, but sometimes he isn't even doing anything. I'm not saying that's a bad thing either. This is probably how stuff would go down in a real situation. I like that. If anyone is the main character, it's probably Balzac. This is the most unlikely of main characters for a mecha show. It's just many other characters revolve around him, as if he's central to the quest line almost. As for other notable characters, you have the next Space Commander AK and Owl, leading the charge to capture the S project. Without knowing her background, she seems to be a highly driven person who will not accept failure. This mission will push her to the max though. Then you have the leader of the rebel Earth group, Hal. Why his terror group have beef with the main Earth force is never really explained. Hal spends most of the time saying he will lead Earth to the true future. He also has psychic powers, which, you guessed it, is never explained. He uses the powers to help him in battles. I found it funny as he became more deranged as the show went on. Balzac, AK and Hal are the most developed characters in the show. Everyone else is kind of just there when they need to be. I can't even say the show has a main villain either. I guess the S device is the main threat and the next space military, but there isn't really any central headed big bad guy pulling all the strings, etc. I'm kind of in the middle of how I feel about the animation and art. I would call it a serviceable 90s anime level of animation. I do get Gundam Wing vibes watching this show, but Wing is leagues above this. It's just those 90s mecha vibes at work. The mechs in here are very basic designs. The one that stands out the most is probably the SAC device when it finally reveals itself. It was probably better for the animators that the mechs were not highly detailed designs. Not that the battles are amazing either, again just passable stuff. What elevates the battles and animation is the music. It sounds like some Dreamcast era shoot 'em up game music. It will definitely get you pumped up when things kick off. The last episode kinda feels anticlimactic. I mean, it's the big final showdown, but I think maybe it seemed too easy how they got over the line. Albeit, all the way through the series, everyone has been getting their asses handed to them by SAC. I just felt for all the suffering they went through that the final push would be a bit more explosive. It's an entertaining show for what it is, but much like Condition Green, I can't help but think they could have done more with what they had, albeit this is another short series at just 12 episodes. I still think it's an interesting show. It doesn't do anything amazing, but will be good enough for most mecha anime fans.